So the whole hydrologic cycle, the process of evaporation, condensation, and precipitation, it's all water seeking its level in the different forms that it is, whether it's in the form of rain, snow, sleet, hail, all of that. Kind of interesting, isn't it? Let me flip around and let you look at that. One of the other things that I'd like to draw your attention to is the way that that the lights shine on the roadway and all that. That's also a clue as well. We can see elevation changes in the road with the way the lights reflect on the surface of the road. It's pretty common to be able to determine when there's a gentle little hill coming up or a little rise in the roadway. I've seen it rain here where more than an inch of rain will come down in 15 minutes. It's outrageous. So when you, one of the things to consider is the weight of the water. As it falls, it'll fill puddles, ponds, rivers, lakes, and then there's hydroelectric power, like in the Fox Valley in Appleton, Neenah-Menasha, Wisconsin. Hydroelectric power to generate paper and flour back in the 1800s. It was a way of connecting business, commerce. It was a bit of a highway, so to speak, but it was for boats. And then we've got the Great Lakes and the body of water, the ocean that covers the face of the earth. The rivers are all leading there. What's interesting too is that if you want to find the low spot in geography, just look for the puddle of water. In my photo album, I've got a lot of pictures of the water near the ocean, also lakes and rivers in the Midwest. It's all pretty fascinating how this works to me. You know, when you think about the energy that it takes, we've got the energy of the sun, for example, that facilitates not just the sun, but the sun and the moon because of their effect on the atmosphere, causing evaporation. The sun causes evaporation, the moon helps facilitate cooling. There's the cool light of the sun, which is measurable. I've done it. You could do it too. Moonlight is cooler, and then sunlight is warmer. So we've got the dissimilar temperatures that cause the atmosphere to. Some of the reasons why we have the changes in air pressure, barometric pressure, rising warmer air, falling cooler air. It's all part of a very elaborate system that God created. I'm a biblical creationist. So, and then there are some that believe that flat earthers are crazy and that this is not an important issue. And what happens every day, pretty typically for me, is people that don't seem to want to investigate this decide they want to move on. And then others decide that they would like to be associated with me. And that's what I would like to share with others too, is that if you're at a position in life where you can be vocal about it, keep in mind, not everybody's going to be able to do that. What I want to illustrate too, I've got Rain-X on the windows, and when the speed is higher, the water beats up and moves off. So I don't actually need to use the windshield wipers when it's like this. This is going to be a relatively short broadcast. I just knew I needed to get up to a highway speed to illustrate that. I've got a lot of content on my profile, liked video playlist that I am cross-pollinating between YouTube and Facebook, so that if people are looking for evidence, seeing is believing. So I'm showing hundreds and hundreds of videos to prove the different assertions that I'm making, observations that I've made, and I want to share that with the world that I believe should be aware of the situation that we're in. By irony and paradox, the deceived are unaware of their peril. In the view right there is a body of flat water. It's a simple retention pond around a construction project, a road project. And I've got pictures of the different reflections off of water, and including urban settings. The way that this, and I want to show that to people so that you can get the idea wherever you are. The puddles, whether it's the puddle in your toilet and you flush it, the water seeking its level, going ahead and cleaning the fixture, and then taking a shower or a bath. All of that illustrates the physics and property of water seeking its level. It does it all over the face of the earth. It would be impossible for that to happen on a globe with people spinning. Whoa, my glass water jugs hitting each other. Wow, I had to get them off the car because it was raining. Yeah, but they're okay. They're pretty sturdy. So spinning upside down, not going to happen. A shower wouldn't work. A wind chime wouldn't work. None of it worked. So what you can know as a person that's looking, there's plenty of biblical support if you are approaching it from that standpoint. There was a car approaching a near collision standpoint. I don't know if you saw that, but kind of interesting. Yeah, they decided to go slow in the hammer lane and almost hit people. Oh well, people do all kinds of stuff. So one of the other things that I wanted to mention as well is there's plenty of empirical evidence that prove that the globe is a lie. It's we still got the monkeys. They said we came from monkeys. It's the official narrative, Darwinism, evolution. If you have a change of species example, go ahead and private message me. One of the things to keep in mind, I do not debate on my posts, and everybody's got a different way of doing social media. I like to either create and or share content, and then people can argue about it if they want to. And I'm doing a lot more of reacting as in, wow. What can be, wow, I can't believe that you found that. That's so cool. Wow, that's amazing. Wow, I can't believe you actually said that. Some people are rude and insensitive about, the fact that we're in a season right now where a lot of people are very depressed. We've lost loved ones through our lifetime. People that will not be able to attend the family get-togethers that are happening all around the world because either they're a long distance away or they've transitioned, their body stopped working and they've died. Well, their soul lives on forever. Remember, we're all eternal beings having a temporary human experience. In this human experience, the child of God will be born again. That's for sure, and that's forever. What a wonderful privilege to be a child of God. And I'm so excited about the reality of that. Now that the power of God is living in and through me, just want to hand out the invitation to everybody. So for people that have said, I just need to spend more time on the gospel, what do you think? Have they been paying attention or what? I would say, no, not so much. I'll tell them so. I don't normally get mad at them. Ooh, this is pretty cool. I'll show you, like this truck right here is going to kick up a bunch of water. And then it'll fall right back down. It's just what it'll do. So the collective weight of the water that has evaporated, condensed, can power machinery. We've got hydroelectric dams. Look at all the hydroelectric power around the world. Well, a lot of that, it happens because of the hydrologic cycle and the way God created this world with mountains and cooler altitudes in higher elevations, and a snowpack that develops, snow and ice, and then the way it is purified through the sunlight and the water flowing through the different aggregates like sand and gravel. It's all pretty amazing. You're looking at liquid oxygen and hydrogen. That's what H2O is. With electricity supplied to water, you can actually shatter the bond and create a gas called hydroxygen that can cut metal and melt rock. Pretty amazing. And now God's word says that when he destroys the world the next time, he's going to do it with fire, fire that will destroy even the elements. So the flood that we got the rainbow to remember that he wouldn't be flooding the earth again, well, he's going to incinerate it with fire. But that's okay, because all of God's children will go to heaven and all of Satan's children will go to hell. It's a divine sorting process, and we can all be involved in sharing God's word to the ends of the earth around the clock by simply adding Bible.com to comments face-to-face, Facebook, YouTube, and also Bible.is is a very effective way of giving people a downloadable digital Bible in over 1,000 languages. Pretty excited about that. So for those that think I'm sidetracked, I would say au contraire. Not at all. Because people quite often are clinging to a godless cosmic Big Bang, and that's what the modern theoretical physicists are promoting. They meander off into formulas and observations and theories that don't reflect reality. It's just the way it is. Let me show you a little more flat water. Yeah, so there's a fountain in the middle. I was doing a live broadcast near one of those fountains. I show you, but it's like that, and it was dark out except for the light around the fountain, and then the light went off and the fountain went off, and I said, well, time to go. There's a 12-foot alligator that used to live in the neighborhood here, and I thought, well, he was seen in that pond where I was next to, and I thought, yep, time to go. You know, it's all good. I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. It's a wonderful thing to live in the time that we do right now. Like I showed in different broadcasts, we used to have quills and that for scribing God's word and other communications. We had word of mouth, and then we had scribes and scrolls and all that. Now with digital communications, we can share God's word to the ends of the earth around the clock, as well as showing people the mountain of evidence to prove we live on a flat earth. It's mostly flat. We do have mountains that are as high as 5.5 miles tall. Just keep in mind, I'm not a few digits short of a full equation. The distance from coast to coast in North America, I've driven it from Myrtle Beach to California, and there should be, in 2,300 miles, 8 inches per mile squared means in the middle of the country, well, I should say in that distance, there's 650 miles of curvature, well more than a 30% grade. The diesel Volkswagen that I drove coast to coast averaged 55 miles to the gallon. When I got to a 5 or 7% grade, my fuel economy would drop into the low teens, and then I would coast downhill. Yeah, and whenever I would get to a little grade, I would see it. I could see it in front of me, and my fuel economy with real-time computer measurement would drop a few miles to the gallon. And then I could tell when I was going downhill. It was a Volkswagen TDI Passat. Modern technology that I had modified, so I got extra good fuel economy and a lot more power, a lot more torque. And torque is what really propels a vehicle. Or like the bulldozers in the view of the camera today, or what I showed with the beach renourishment, a lot of torque with the diesel engine. Some of those engines actually were powering an electric generator. They had electric motors that were being powered by a diesel generator with over 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. Amazing. Well, what was said in the 1800s, there's no locomotive that's ever been constructed that could handle a grade of a elevation that would be 8 inches to the mile squared. So you can know with empirical evidence that the globe is impossible. There aren't people stuck upside down in Australia in relationship to North America, which is here, just on the opposite side of that. See, it wouldn't work. It's impossible. The shower wouldn't work. You couldn't wash your hands. Water would be flying all over. I know they've got the International Space Station. Yeah, yeah, that exists. The reality of that exists in the mind of the deceived and the deceivers. They believe it's a reality that there are people living up there in a space station. I've seen bubbles in their spacewalks. I talked about it and got banned for a couple of days. Now I typically go over there and I'll type "wow" as a comment just to see that I could go back. And when people see Eternal Perspective, yeah, some of them go to my channel and subscribe. And when I'm looking for a little something to do, and like there's 1,000 people on the feed, the chat for that, what I can do is I can subscribe to 100 channels, and I do quite often. And whenever I subscribe to another YouTube channel, one falls off. I can only have 2,000 YouTube channels. Trust me, I know how to find the information I'm looking for. So I don't need to have necessarily 2,000 subscriptions feeding me all the information. My subscribing to a channel is like me saying, hey, how you doing? You might want to take a look at what I got going on here. Some do and subscribe. And as I've become very consistent with generating and sharing content, some people that show an apparent lack of interest in what I'm about decide they'll go elsewhere. They move on. And then waiting are a whole group of people that I've handed out friend requests to that private message me and quite often say, I really appreciate your content. Thanks for what you're doing. So look at it. Here's how I look at it. I'm trading a bunch of negativity, people saying I'm wasting my time and I'm nuts or I'm stupid, and I'm trading those relationships for people appreciate what I'm doing and what we're doing. It's not about me. It's about us working together. I remember being at the Flat Earth International Conference and wondering how they were going to present this event to humanity. Well, with regards to HBO, we got from that particular presentation, Vice News, over 2.2 million views on that, and a lot of people were picking on different individuals in there, and it was pretty common to pick on me for mentioning that Satan was behind the deception. Well, what I did go on to say, and Thu Long and I made a video response about that, I was part of the deception myself, because I was deceived and I did not know it. By irony and paradox, the deceived don't know they're deceived. With pride as a catalyst, they're going to think they've got it figured out. Yeah, they've got fancy cars, digits in their bank account, and letters around their name, and by golly, they don't need to listen to a bunch of freak show, whack job, tinfoil hat wearing kooks. Well, all of those particular iconic views that people have of those that question the official narrative, it's to their loss. I would encourage everybody to seek the truth with all of your heart, to make sure that you're actually born again. If you subscribe to a belief where you believe the Bible is true, you may have slipped your hand up. I did that. I was baptized, fully immersed, and in a bunch of different bodies of water around the earth, one ocean to another. It's the same body of water from coast to coast. But the idea was, it wasn't until 3 years ago, even though that all happened over 30 years ago, I was just recently born again 3 years ago on Reformation Day. Remember Reformation Day, the Protestant Reformation? You might want to look that up. That was one of the themes of the Flat Earth Conference. What else happened about 500 years ago? We got the globe rammed down our throats. And then they got really high tech with it, with all the sophisticated communications and computer generated fakery. It's pretty impressive, some of the computer fakery that's out there, and some of it is so obviously computer generated. Now, on my liked videos, I also have beautiful scenery, like the 24-hour feed that talks about Christmas music and nature videos, and relaxing music. One of the channels has about 99% beautiful scenery from around the face of the earth, bodies of water all over the place, waterfalls and all that, and then they include this, the globe from space. Well, it's there, and it's obviously not the same as the other footage that we can see is genuinely authentic. As best I can tell, it's digitally transmitted imagery. The actual beauty of taking a digital camera, or the iPhone that I'm using now for this. Keep in mind, the iPhone that I'm using right now, and quite possibly the one you have, has the technology to download the app that's called the Bubble Level. I've got it on there. It's a level that is extremely precise, and it also has a plumb bob and an accelerometer and a gyroscope. All the tools to show that this world doesn't move. It doesn't. Just imagine a bubble level. You set the bubble level down on a surface and it's perfectly level. Well, wouldn't you think that would move? The bubble? With the supposed rotation of the earth? No, it doesn't, because we're not moving. The evidence is conclusive with the technology that we have today to prove the non-movement of the earth. And if you're interested in looking into this, good luck, because there's a lot of intentional deception. And that's part of how it works. So that some people get really confused about it, and they just say, give me my remote, a beer, and and some distraction. Or maybe they're not interested in alcohol. That's good. I'm I'm free from that. So I'm free from all the legal and illegal drugs. Included on my liked video playlist includes like the marketing of madness, the pharmaceutical assault on humanity with greedy corporations that are actually evil in marketing products that cause people to actually take their lives. They're doing it for a profit. Yeah. There's a lot going on there. I could go on, and I do. I'm going to save more for later and keep this be a little abbreviated. As always, I encourage everybody to hear, share, and of course, obey God's word. Bible.com and Bible.is. Thank you for all your encouragement. I appreciate that so much.